gonna throw my memories away. Now I feel I'm done, and I am cursed by every day till my time is gone. I've never felt this way before, and now I know this all for sure. I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day. 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 I'm gonna throw my memories away. Now I feel I'm done, and I'm cursed by every day till my time is gone. I've never felt this way before, and now I know this all for sure. I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day. Forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'm gonna throw my memories away. Now I feel I'm done, and I'm cursed by every day till my time is gone. I've never felt this way before, and now
What is going on, guys? What is going on? As you guys know, TJ is in his volleyball championships, so wish him good luck if you can. He is ready to start playing at any moment now, so it will be just me for this evening, at least until 6:30. If he loses, he will be on at 6:30. So definitely an interesting slate, guys, to break down. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. A huge amount of games, huge amount of pending injury news. Let me just read you what we're still waiting on right now. We're still waiting on Steph, Luka, LeBron James, but he does plan to play. AD's probable. Ayton is questionable. Aldridge is probable. Oladipo is now playing. Mitchell Robinson is questionable. Finney Smith is questionable. Dennis Smith Jr. is probable. Bonga is now out. Eric Gordon, Macklemore, questionable. Ryan, Artie Iacono, I think that's how you pronounce it. I probably butchered that. Questionable. Robert Williams, probable. As of right now. And that's not even getting into the unexpected injury news, okay? We all know that that's going to happen. So Steph is out. Okay, so that just happened. What's going on, guys? Hopefully everybody's having a good Tuesday. A great time to be making money today because we have a huge slate with a ton of pending injury news for DraftKings. Again, the edge is holding on to these late slate games, just hoping that the injury news does just completely destroy us after lock, okay? These kind of slates are my favorite. So we're going to be diving in. Steph just came out, so we will go over the Steph news just came out. We just need to go over that, guys. Also, let me know if the stream is going well because right now it is showing a drop in viewership. I don't know if it's usually because of the frozen screen. So hopefully, Archie Diacono. I don't know, guys. I'm not a Bulls fan. Get over it, okay? LeBron James is out. Is that a thing? Oh, it's in. Okay. Now Dwight Howard is out. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. We have a ton of stuff to break down, guys. I don't even know where to start. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Let's go ahead and break down. We're going to wait for the minutes to update. We're going to go by ownership here. We're going to start. Let's go ahead and start with Washington and the Knicks, okay? Okay, you had to restart the stream. I don't know what it is, guys. Usually, like, right when the stream starts is when it gives us the most trouble. I don't know. Maybe it's because you guys are all joining at the same time. No idea. I'll have to get it figured out. But let's go ahead. So, right now, I really like this matchup versus the Knicks. Washington in a slight pace-up spot, barely, but still slightly pace-up at home. So, again, the pace should be picked up for these guys. Troy Brown, my man, averages just under a fantasy point per minute. Actually, you know what? I need to do this without Bonga now. So bear with me. Let's go ahead and break this down. The chalk is going to be on Troy Brown because he is getting 29 minutes now. So he's going to be even more chalky now. Let's go look at this injury report. I think Robinson, is still questionable, right? So we can't rule him out yet. If he is ruled out, that's going to be even more interesting. So let's rule out here Wall, Bonga, and Ish Smith. All right, see what that does. Yeah, Aldridge is in tonight, guys. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about the Spurs because the Spurs are actually very intriguing. I'll talk about them in just a second. So Troy Brown, averages 0.88, so nothing's really going to change there. Hachimura, 0.8, nothing too intriguing. Biggest boost here. Okay. And he's only getting 8 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, what's really going to change everything is if Jerome Robinson's ruled out. But as of right now, Troy Brown is still getting 29 minutes, okay? I do like Troy Brown, regardless of if Robinson plays or not, okay? Troy Brown, 29 minutes is just pretty productive for his price tag. Thomas Bryant is expected to play. Obviously, 3.9 is way too cheap for a starting center regardless. Again, pace-up matchup. Thomas Bryant, Troy Brown, I love. Hachimura is getting minutes at 4.9. I like him. And, of course, we have GPP options here at Napier. Okay, Bradley Beal's always in the picture. But my favorite plays from this game, and a lot of chalk's going to come from here, Troy Brown and Bryant, okay? Those are going to be your building blocks. Okay, a lot of value there, and I think these guys are pretty safe here in this pace-up position. All right. Yep, and we're gonna go over all these questions. Feel free to spam the chat with your questions, though. Don't take it to heart when I ignore them because, guys, I'm gonna get through the entire slate and then see if we have any more questions. Okay, there's a ton of stuff to cover, so I'm gonna kind of lightning through these plays. I know I'm without TJ. TJ should show up a little bit later. If he loses early, he'll be on a little bit earlier here at 6:30, roughly. So let's just go right over. I know we're pending injury news on Indiana. Let's go right over to Houston. Okay. The percentage ownership is showing something that's very interesting for these guys. Okay. Robert Covington at 6.2K is showing a fantastic point per dollar value here. Pace up spot, guys. Anybody playing Minnesota in general is just really, really high in pace. Houston's at 130. I'm pretty sure that's the highest over under I've seen all season. Okay. Covington, Westbrook, and Harden are your guaranteed minutes, okay? Daniel House, a great play for value, and so is PJ Tucker. Again, 130 is absolutely insane. Every single person on this team is going to have tremendous upside. The golden question tonight is, are you going to play Russell Westbrook or are you going to play Harden? I will say this. Westbrook is the most obvious choice. been playing very, very well. Both of these guys have a fantastic matchup, okay? Harden and Westbrook. The ownership is showing on Westbrook and higher on Westbrook, and Harden is showing lower. That makes Harden obviously a GPP option, Westbrook being the more cash obvious play. I'm saying I like both of them in GPPs. If you guys want to stack these guys, by all means, feel free. But what I would recommend is pairing one of these pay-up options, probably Harden or Westbrook, with either Covington, Daniel House, PJ Tucker. You can go down the list. Okay, McLemore and Gordon are pending right now injury news. That's going to be huge. It's going to open up some minutes for Austin Rivers and Jeff Green, and we cannot ignore this over-under with 130. That is the highest I've seen all season, and for good reason. Minnesota just stinks on defense, and especially as of late. Okay, so I love Houston for some of these value plays. If you guys want to look for fillers for some of these value plays, and especially if Gordon and McLemore ruled out, guys, I mean, Houston's going to be a great team to target. All right, I'm going to keep going through these guys. Now, Minnesota's intriguing just because, obviously, they're also in the pace of spot 117. D'Lo is going to be more of a GPP option. All these guys are showing very low ownership. I'm not high on these guys, just overall. Beasley has been balling out. 6.2 is actually underpriced. But, guys, if you're going to be stacking this game, go to Houston. Okay, Houston is definitely the play tonight if you're going for upside. Let's go right over to Dallas. We're still pinning injury news on Doncic, I believe. Can you guys also need to spam the chat? Tick me off today by spamming the chat with all the injury news. I won't get too mad today, okay? You guys need I need to see all the updates. And of course, I see my screen on the right before I see anything on my phone. Okay? Yes, I will get to the Lakers and I will get to the Steph Curry news in just a second. Okay? But I'm going to go through the most obvious the most solidified news right now. Let's go over to San Antonio. As we know, Aldridge is playing. I want to say this. Everybody's going right off of DeRozan because Aldridge is playing. But guess what? Without Lonnie Walker, Murray, and Hurdle, DeRozan actually sits about the same fantasy point production even with Aldridge on the court, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so with that being said, I like DeRozan as a GPP option. I also like Aldridge because Aldridge is sitting right here at 6.5. Again, this is a pace-up spot for the Spurs, which is actually pretty interesting. Aldridge plays and everybody goes right off the Spurs, but you also have to take in consideration Lonnie Walker's now out, Hurdle's still out, and also is Murray. Murray is huge, okay? So there's still usage here. They think when Aldridge gets back and, everything goes down the tube with the Spurs. Absolutely not. If Aldridge is sitting here playing 32 minutes, I like him. I like DeRozan. I actually like these Spurs a little bit more than most people do. Not because I'm a Spurs fan, but because this usage is actually not looking too bad for the Spurs in a pace-up spot. So I like the Spurs for GPPs. You can even throw DeRozan into a cash game. I could be behind that 1,000%. Again, we have to wait for the ownership to adjust. There's going to be so many updates here on the stream, guys. Do not miss out on the edge tonight, okay? Because I'm still figuring it out. I'm figuring it out with you guys, okay? I'm assuming this Laker picture is going to change a lot too. Now let's go to some more chalk in the Chicago game. A lot of these guys are underpriced in general. Kobe White's getting the starting role now, playing projected at 35 minutes. 5.7 point per dollar value. He's going to be fairly chalky. He's actually one of my favorite cash options as of right now. Projected at 34% in, ownership in tournaments. Okay. Kobe White. Shaq Harrison's projected at 32 minutes. I don't know if that's true because every time he gets minutes, it scares me. Because they're always wrong. But Shaq Harrison, as of right now, 32 minutes, a fairly productive fantasy point per minute player. He's actually just under a fantasy point per minute. At 5K, I like him. I like Kobe White. I like Shaq Harrison and Cardle. I wouldn't even look at any one of these other guys on the roster, again, because they're just not playing too many minutes. At these price tags, they make the most sense for Kobe White, Carter, and Harrison. I don't even mind the stack from these guys, okay? But just those guys. Like Markkanen's risky, only playing 27 minutes. He'd have to get hot pretty quick. Satoransky's not in the starting rotation anymore, only projected at 24 minutes. Denzel Valentine's now 5.1K at 23 minutes. Doesn't make any sense. Daddy's selling 5.3. Don't take a stab at any one of these other guys. All right? All right, so let's move along. We're going to some more chalk. I know I'm trying to go through this pretty fast so I can get to the edge so I can crunch some more numbers for you guys, okay? Going to be drinking a lot of water on the stream because TJ is not with me. I also disabled notifications for the stream just because I know there's going to be a lot of madness going on. I don't want to distract you guys or myself. All right, so Portland, Damian Lillard, 9.1K, got a huge price decrease. I thought I disabled notifications. Thank you, Tion. That's funny. Sorry about that. Damian Lillard, 6.1K. Or a 6.1 point per dollar. He's 9.1. He averages 1.46 fantasy points per minute in a pace of spot, coming off a horrible outing, a very good matchup against Phoenix. That's all I have to say about this team. Damian Lillard is going to be chalky as one of the chalkiest pay-up options on the slate as of right now. Projected at 118.75, Portland is. So again, I do like Damian Lillard. All these other guys are still coming down from their price increase without Lillard on the court. So again, I'm not really interested in anybody else but Lillard on this team. Okay. I'm trying to speed through this, guys. All right, with Phoenix, we're still pinning the Ayton news. If Ayton is ruled out, then I do like Phoenix. I like a lot of these guys, even with their prices adjusted. Again, a pace of spot for Phoenix, but we won't talk about them until Ayton is ruled out. One guy I want to talk about from Brooklyn. Dinwiddie gets a huge price decrease here, 6.8K. That's a pretty big discount for him. Again, only at 3% ownership. I do like him for GPPs. He's actually getting overlooked. One of my favorite GPP options on the slate. As far as these other Brooklyn Nets, Taurean Prince is only sitting at 4.1K. Also, Joe Harris is 4.9. So a lot of these guys are cheap, just undervalued in general. And then, yes, I know that Lou Will got ruled out. So let's talk about this. With Lou Will off the court, the biggest boost actually goes to Harrell. But again, he's only projected 27 minutes. I'm kind of iffy on the 27 minutes. But Harrell gets a huge boost in usage. So if you guys want to throw him into a GPP lineup, feel free to do that. Patrick Beverley obviously is going to be chalky because he gets a minute boost without Lou Will. Projected at 28 minutes, 3.7K. Yes, I like the play. 0.88 fantasy points per minute, so not the most productive player, but also not that bad. So I do like him for that output here at 3.7K. Pat Bev, yeah, a decent play. Another salary saver. Again, Washington and Pat Bev are some great plays for value. Okay? Paul George. Paul George also gets a nice little boost in usage. So I like Paul George at 32 minutes. He actually had a very good game because it was competitive. He played 36 minutes against the Lakers. So they're going against Golden State, so I don't really expect him to play that kind of minutes or those kind of minutes again. So I'm really not on anybody else but Pat Bev and Montrezl Harrell as an outside GPP option. Again, a lot of different options from all these teams. There's not really a straightforward team to stack as of right now. Like I said, the Spurs are very undervalued and they could go pretty sneaky. But in general, there's not really a straightforward team as there has been. I think the most straightforward one is going to be here in Houston. Houston's pretty undervalued, and especially if Eric Gordon and McLemore is ruled out. Yes, I know Curry got ruled out, guys. I'm going to compute that in just a second. Pat Bev or Dellavedova. I like Pat Bev tonight. There's a lot of minutes now with Cleveland. There's a lot of people coming back, like Drummond's in the mix now. Nance, Love, all those guys. McKinney's back, so not as heavy on Cleveland as I was in the past, so I do like Pat Bev for his ownership. If you want to stick Dellavedova in there for GBP, I do like Delly for GBPs. Do you like Forbes still? Yeah, so I like San Antonio in general. So there's a lot of undervalued plays. I'll start with the Spurs from the top down here. I like DeRozan. I like Patty Mills for GBP. 24 minutes, 3.1K is definitely a good salary relief. Brent Forbes at 27 minutes. I like him. Again, you have to remember, there's a lot of people out for San Antonio. There's still Hurdle, Lonnie Walker, and I always forget the last one. And Murray. Yeah, Murray. So again, there's still a lot of minutes, a lot of usage to go around. So the only guys I'm not really interested in, Rudy Gay. He's just overpriced. Eubanks, Johnson, Lyles, and Bellinelli. If you guys look at my screen, I like everybody from Aldridge up from the Spurs. All right, let's go ahead and look at Golden State here. I want to see if they updated minutes. And they did. All right, Golden State's going to look a lot more intriguing now. Let me do some magic here. Oops, that's my GPP sheet. All right, so let's go to Golden State and see what happens without Steph Curry on the court. Steph. We got to take off Steph. Klay Thompson, obviously. We got to take off Looney. Just Draymond out. Draymond is out. Don't know how to pronounce his last name. Any Golden State fans, let me know. If you're a Golden State fan and you're willing to admit it, I respect you. You're staying through the ups and the downs. This season is a pretty big down year for you guys. All right, so let's look at this. As I expected, actually everybody goes down in usage. Interesting. Golden State really is not impacted by usage-wise by the injuries. So they're going to be more impacted by their minutes. So let's look at Chris here. 32 minutes. I like Chris a lot. 1.13 fantasy points per minute. He's just so productive. I was watching his games, and he's actually not that bad of a player. I don't think he gets enough love. Gets enough love for me. I always start him. So Chris is going to be a very good option here. Anderson's getting 27 minutes, but he's only averaging 0.6 fantasy points per minute. That's not very good. At 3.5, though. 16, I'll keep that. Wiggins. Wiggins. 1.06. That's not going to do much. Yeah, Wiggins is just, man, he's just so pricey. I don't think he deserves that price tag. Damian Lee. I'm not even going to compute that. That's very low. Pascal. 35. Nice 33. Sorry, guys. This is the boring part of the stream. For anybody who is new to the stream, I help give you guys the edge. I break down my favorite plays. Of course, when all the injury news does break, I pull out my calculator and I break through the fantasy points per minute, see who gets the biggest boost, see who still stinks. Mulder, 0.74. Sorry, guys. I'll get to the boring part. All right. So, after looking at this, Chris is my favorite play from Golden State. Going against the Clippers don't really have the best big guys, okay, but they don't have bad ones either. So Chris just gets a nice little boost in usage, or well, not usage. He gets a boost in minutes, and he averages 1.13 fantasy points per minute. If Chris is actually playing 32 minutes, which he should, I do like Chris. I'm going down the list here. Toscano, Anderson's not that bad of a value play. Mulder's not that bad, but again, their price tags. It'd be easier for me to get on people from Houston and Washington over these guys, but I think Chris is going to highlight my favorite play here. All right. And then what other injury news are we pending here? Or what did we just get? What am I missing? Oh, Dwight Howard. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, I can tell you right now, JaVale McGee's going to probably be a good play. McGee at 20 minutes now. Kuzma at 23. It looks like I think they updated it. AD's at 35. I think he was at 35. McGee at 30, or at 20 minutes. I'm trying to think what he was at before. If I can go ahead and compute this. I think so. I think I'm safe to do this. All right. So the Lakers are without. Now, LeBron James is expected to play, right? Now listed probable. Yep. Okay. So the only guy that really changed anything was Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard. It's just Dwight Howard. Is Caruso playing? Expected to go. This is boring. Come on, guys. I want to see more action. More injury action. Is that bad that I want people to sit out of the NBA games? I feel like that's not what we want as fans. Okay. Yeah, so it's just Howard. Okay. So let's take Howard off the court. There's only going to be one guy I'm looking at here. It's probably McGee. At 20 minutes, he's very productive, guys. He just is. Ooh, okay. So McGee doesn't change from 1.11 fantasy points per minute. So we go to 20, 1.11, 22. That's what I thought. Yeah, he's going to jump right up there. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to gather my thoughts, guys. So let's ignore ownership right now. Okay? Let's just get rid of ownership and break down 150 lineups and see how that kind of switches up things. I'm going to do this one bit of injury news at a time. Okay? I'm going to give you guys this direction right now because right now I computed all my values. I have it all updated. I've been updating throughout the day. Sorry, it seems like I haven't been as active today. I have been behind the scenes. I promise you. Okay? Thank you for the support, guys. Really appreciate it. If this is your first time to the stream, please hit that subscribe button. Again, trying to get that subscription number up. All right. So it looks like the ownership in general hasn't really been updated. So if I'm ignoring ownership, these are my favorite plays. Okay, DeRozan's still at the top of the list. I really do think DeRozan's going to get overlooked as a GPP option. He could even make it to your cash lineup. Damian Lillard, Troy Brown, Pat Bev, Finney Smith, and now I like Marquise Chris a lot more. I like anybody from the Houston game, starting with Robert Covington. And some of these Bulls are still up there. I like TJ Warren as of right now. We're still pending that Oladipo news. Okay? If you guys want to take a look here, again, it's a little all over the place. It's not as straightforward. Like I said many times, there's not a straightforward team. It's not like the Milwaukee Bucks last. Do you guys want to talk about last night? Or you just want to like completely erase that from your memory? I know a lot of you had a really good night or a really bad night. There were some bad eggs in our, or there was one bad egg in our Discord chat who thought that we did not give an update on the injury news. Guys, I can only do so much. So about 10 minutes till Milwaukee started, they released the starting lineup. They didn't even release the injury news. And what we did, me and TJ's, we talked it over. We were like, man, this lineup is really crazy. There's only one reason they should do this. And that's because they're not playing, but we don't see an injury, like a breaking injury news. So we sat there and we waited for it. And we're like, dude, it's not coming out. 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the tip-off, and there was still no bit of injury news. So we went with our gut, and we decided to fade Middleton and everybody, DiVincenzo. That wasn't a starting lineup because we figured, you know what, if they are out, that's going to be a huge leverage against the field. And you know what, if they do play, oh well. You know, it's like it was higher risk, but it was also a ton of upside. And as you guys know, TJ, the line that he posted to the website, cashed easily. Completely. I mean, like, almost was a takedown, a couple of them. So, anyway. So, yeah. I sped through the slate. I went through the most obvious plays. Let's go. I missed a couple. I missed with Orlando. So, Orlando, we still have Amino, Fournier, and Isaac still out. So, if we look at from the top down here, DJ Augustine, another good GPP play. Again, all these guys are going to be very, very low owned. DJ Augustine, 27 minutes, 4.3K. I do like him here at a 4.8K or 4.8 point per dollar value. Markelle Fultz also gets a boost without these guys. Terrence Ross, any one of these guys, I don't mind. They're going to be in a slight pace up spot. Orlando is versus Memphis. Anybody playing against Memphis usually is. So yeah. Yeah, guys, I went through the entire slate. Again, I think a lot of the stream is going to be just waiting for this injury news. So if you guys, I can right now, I can give you a rough overview of the slate. So if you're building a lineup right now, again, all this ownership, man, is just going to be flipped. I'm going to make sure I have the right ownership. I knew the stream was going to be stressful, so I'm just preparing myself. Okay, so Westbrook's now one of the highest owned. That's interesting. Okay, so let's do this. I'll give a rough breakdown of the slate. Favorite cash plays as of right now: Dame, Troy Brown, Pat Bev, Kobe White, Westbrook. Those are my favorite plays. Cash plays. All right. GPPs. Let's look for leverage right now. Finney Smith, if he plays, he's going to be very low owned at that 3.7K price tag, which doesn't make much sense to me. I know he's not that great of a fantasy point per minute player, but he plays so many minutes that 3.7K price tag does make a lot of sense. Marquise Chris is popping here, obviously, just a little bit. TJ Warren, if he plays, or he should play. TJ Warren in general, just because he's been playing like 35 minutes plus. So I like TJ Warren. I talked about Spencer Dinwiddie. Markelle Fultz gets a huge boost without Fournier on the court. Paul George. Miles Turner, we haven't touched base on Indiana yet, but that's because we're still waiting for that Oladipo news. Sabonis, all these Indiana guys are showing very low owned. I'll go ahead and draw the line there, and then of course Harden if you want to throw that in there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start answering questions. We're going to await the injury news together, guys. That's how we're going to do this. Why am I getting Bruce Brown news? I don't care. I do not care about Detroit right now. At all. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll start answering questions. Let's see. Delly, Drummond, Sexton, question mark. Yeah, so the thing with Cleveland is, I was all aboard the Cleveland train a couple days ago. They are at 106, which is kind of concerning. Definitely not the high over-under that we got a couple nights ago. Drummond's back in the mix. I know I'm going to get a lot of Drummond questions. Again, his minutes are just so up and down. And again, he played 33 minutes last game, and I believe there was still an injury out for these guys, so I don't expect him to play 33 minutes again. I think 32 is going to be his ceiling. Again, you gotta think back when Cleveland was playing their full rotations. Drummond was only getting like 28 minutes. He really was. He's only getting 28 minutes, and that was his ceiling. So I mean, Drummond, he's in a good matchup, and again, it's going to be that 106 over under. I'm not really too intrigued about. The only other guys I would consider from this team, Dellavedova has been playing really well. I wouldn't even consider Nance at 34 minutes. I mean, he's just not that productive. These guys are still playing heavy minutes, but they have more people in the rotation. That's all. I'm more interested in somebody like Washington, Houston, San Antonio, even Chicago, and then maybe Cleveland. Okay, and like even Phoenix without Ayton is going to be very intriguing. I like these other teams better. Okay, I'm not as high on Cleveland as I was. All right, Aaron Gordon for GPP. Let's talk about that. So Aaron Gordon, obviously in the mix, 7.9. I'm not as high on Aaron Gordon as some of these other guards on Orlando. Like 7.9 is just, I mean, you have to get to 39 fantasy points, DK points. So, I mean, 35, 38, 47. He's right around there. It's nothing crazy. But like, I like Terrence Ross a lot more. I like Vooch. I like Augustine all more than Aaron Gordon. I do like Orlando. I just don't like Aaron Gordon. It's one of my favorite plays from that team. Victor Oladipo will play on Tuesday. Did we just get that? Or is that old news? Oh, he will play. Sorry, I keep saying that. Okay, sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay, so we'll go ahead and break down Indiana then. All right, so right now we're looking at an injury report. Thanks for spamming the chat. I won't get mad at you guys. I kept saying Oladipo. There's so many different pieces of injury news, guys. I tend to get lost in them. I'm sorry. I apologize. So there's still Lamb, Brogdon, and McDermott out. So I will say this. I like Warren. I like Turner. And I think those guys are very, very good GPP options. Same thing with Sabonis. Aaron Holiday, I'm not as high on. Again, this is going to be a pace down spot, so don't go crazy stacking these guys. But if I'm going to target anybody from this team, it's going to be Warren and Turner. Those are my favorite options. Of course, Bossamino struggles against bigs. I do like TJ Warren and Turner. Those are my favorite. Okay. So nothing changed. I already updated all the minutes for these guys. I updated the fantasy points per minute. Again, these are all updated. So I was waiting on that Oladipo news before the stream. All right, we have a lineup here. Lillard, Covington, Mills, or Westbrook, Otto Porter, Bryant. I would go Lillard, Covington, Mills. I'm getting a lot of questions about San Antonio, so I will say it again. I like San Antonio as being sneaky. I mean, everybody's kind of off of them now because of Aldridge. Guys, Aldridge really hasn't been doing that well this season. His usage isn't as high as it's been in the past, okay? DeRozan is still carrying a decent amount of usage and fantasy point per minute output. He's averaging 1.26 fantasy points per minute, okay? With these current injuries off the court. Let's see if I can get it right. Walker, Murray, and who's the last guy? And Hurdle. Got it. All right, so those guys off the court. DeRozan's a great play. And then you can take a stab at any one of these guys, these guards for GPPs. I like Mills at 24 minutes. I like Brent Forbes at 27. I think I like Forbes the most. I like Derek White. Okay, if he starts. I do like Derek White at 28 minutes. He could play more. I think Derek White could see an upward of 32 minutes. I even like Aldridge, okay? Again, these guys are just underpriced in general. You look at these price tags, and they're just they're very cheap for the 112, okay? They're in the pace of spot San Antonio is. At home. They're playing at home. That's the reason for it. So the only guys I don't like, Bellinelli, Lyles, Johnson, Eubanks, Gay, at their price tags. I don't like them. Finney-Smith still. Yes, I like Finney-Smith. A lot of value. Again, let me go back to Washington. Let me go to my favorite value plays on the slate. My favorite value plays by far, Troy Brown. I like Thomas Bryant. Again, pace of spot for Washington. It's actually been going up, so that's actually good news. Thomas Bryant, Troy Brown. Pat Bev. Those are my favorite value plays on the slate. GPP value plays, like I just mentioned, Patty Mills, Brent Forbes, and Derek White, if you want to consider him value. But those guys are going to get overlooked. LBJ 2% owned. Yeah. Well, all right, so let's talk about the studs, because the studs, I haven't really talked about the studs. I've talked more about the value. So like I said, Harden is in a fantastic spot. Fantastic spot. Get a recency bias, and he's a fantastic play. But if you're considering recency bias of how poorly he's been doing, we know that Harden is very up and down this season, even more so than other seasons. Harden is one of my favorite GPP options for pay-up options. Okay? Doncic is obviously in a great spot, again, going against San Antonio. But again, I prefer somebody like Harden and Westbrook. Westbrook's going to be the go-to guy tonight for pay-up options. Obviously, being in a 130 over-under. Holy cow, it's still going up 130.5 now. Westbrook is the most obvious one tonight. Okay, Harden's your one-off. Doncic is going to be your two-off. Okay, LeBron James is going to be like your 4 or 5 off at 2%. Okay, he's definitely not your obvious play. Going against Brooklyn, I mean, it could have blowout potential in that game too. AD, obviously, not bad, 9.8. So they always do well against bigs. So there's another good pay-up option. But if you go even further down, Lillard is my favorite play. My two favorite plays. I'll go with Lillard as my pay-up, if you want to consider him pay-up at 9.1. Westbrook and Harden. Those are my favorite pay-up options tonight. Yep, and I know Steph Curry is out, but thank you for telling me that. If you haven't caught the stream yet, we've been talking about that, so no big deal, no hate. All right, so I gave my favorite studs, I gave my favorite value plays, I gave my favorite cash plays. What else do you guys want to know? I even gave my favorite GPP plays. As of right now, we're awaiting the injury news together. I think we're still pending. Obviously, Dallas, right? Or is Doncic still in? I'm getting lost in all the injury news. So let me go back to my sheet, my overview here. We are awaiting Jerome Robinson, right? Is Jerome Robinson still questionable? Because if he's out, I'm gonna be pretty heavy on Washington because he is playing a lot of minutes. He's still questionable as of right now. Let me know with Jerome Robinson. We should get that on the stream, guys. Spam the chat when we hear that. We are still pending Eric Gordon and Macklemore. Finney-Smith, obviously. Mitchell Robinson's pretty big. They're in the pace of spot. And Luka Doncic is still questionable. Okay. Those are the big guys. All right. And those guys won't, except for Doncic. Doncic will completely change the slate. So if he is ruled out, then we gotta really reconsider everything. All right. So let's go through these questions. The good thing is that Washington's still pending injury news, and they're in a great spot already. And same thing with Houston. So if Houston or Washington decides to roll out some of these guys, I'm going to be all aboard those. The Washington Houston train. Also, guys, I'll be getting off at 6:25 today because I have to make the cash lineup. I have to put out my Patreon stuff, and I have to update my own lineups. And then I'll be back to answer any last minute questions 15 minutes before lock at 6:45. So again, if you guys want to stay put for that and let me break down the slate for you even further and then answer any last minute questions, feel free to do that. Ayton's still questionable too. Yeah, so there's still Ayton. What's your take on Randall? So that's a good question. I didn't go over the Knicks. Obviously, if Robinson's out, I'm going to be in love with Randall. But as of right now, Randall at 7.6 pace up spot, I do like him. He's going to be actually pretty chalky. There's going to be a lot of different lineup combinations, a lot of good plays in general for cash tonight. I could easily see Randall in there. Easily. I mean, they're a huge pace up spot for Washington. How many minutes do you have for Thomas Bryant? Right now, we have him at 24. I think that's a pretty good guess on minutes there. I'm still pending percentage ownership. All right, it hasn't changed yet. Harrison, Kobe White, right? Tatum. I don't like Tatum. Warren, Sabonis, Mills, Randall, Brown Jr. It's GPP. Yeah, I mean, the only guy I don't like is Tatum. I'm going to be honest. Thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate that. The sleeper pick every night, Matt from Daily Grind Fantasy. I really, really appreciate that shout out. Thank you so much. Really, I appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you so much. Loco J, if that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you so much for the shout out. Thank you. Let's go. James Johnson, GPP sleeper. Yeah, really anybody from this Minnesota team in general, their over-under keeps going up too. So I actually like their output here. James Johnson, it could be a sleeper. I like Malik Beasley, though. I like to target guys with high minutes in this game. Beasley and D'Angelo Russell only playing 32. I like Beasley at his price tag, 32. Hernan Gomez. The guy I'm really looking at there is going to be Beasley, probably. DJ from the Brooklyn Nets here. Let's look. I think his minutes are projected at 27. Yeah. Price tag scary, 5.5, 27 minutes. Strictly GBP. I'm not too high on him. Yeah, I do need to take off Burks and Robinson. The only thing is that I've done that before, and it doesn't really impact him too much. Like, it's not going to do much to Toscano, Anderson, or Andrew Wiggins, or Pascal. I've done it before. I could do that. It would boost it a little bit, but it's not going to be anything crazy. That's the only reason I didn't do it. Okay? Toscano, Anderson, Chris are my favorite plays from that team. I like Chris a lot. Having a 6 point per dollar value at that price tag is pretty good. Toscano, Anderson, I just like the other value plays, like from Houston and Washington a little bit more. But he could definitely be a GPP option for value. I do like him for GPP. Percentage ownership on Booker, Rubio right now. Let's look. Well, again, that's going to completely change once Ayton gets ruled out. So percentage ownership on this team is very, 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 very low. So good team to target for GPPs, especially if Ayton gets ruled out after lock, which he should. Guys, great team to target for GPPs after lock. Late swap, for sure. Absolutely. Is Jeff Green in play today? Again, we're pending the injury news from Gordon. He is a very viable play if Gordon and McLemore are ruled out because they have nowhere else to go. Again, Austin Rivers will probably be the guy I'm going to be looking at. House is going to get a bump. Again, they'll be playing a very small rotation. If Eric Gordon and McLemore ruled out, guys, all aboard Houston. 1,000% stack them. You can even get away with Westbrook and Harden. Okay? PJ Tucker, I wouldn't be opposed to. Jeff Green and Austin Rivers become very viable. House, absolutely. All those guys are going to be great options. Again, 130. Guys, 130, that's a huge over-under for sure. Thank you for the shout out, Anchor. Matt and TJ, best in the business. I really appreciate that. I don't know if we're the best, but we are right there, neck and neck. I need to get some huge takedowns before I can call myself the best. But hopefully that will happen soon. 5,000 is the biggest takeover I've had. Again, I don't throw too much. I'm very conservative with my money. I come from a banking background, so you can kind of imagine why. All right, Westbrook, White, Covington, Randall, Chris Mills, Brown Jr., Peyton. I haven't heard Peyton. Let's look at his minutes. Peyton's not in the player pool. Awkward. If he is for FanDuel. All right, so favorite cast plays. I'm assuming you meant cash. Like Houston game. Houston game for cash. Yes, Westbrook's going to be your main guy to target. You have to have Westbrook if you're going to target the cash play from Houston. Okay? Covington's going to be in there. Huge, great cash plays. Again, we know that Covington plays more of a center support role to these guys. Okay? Not your typical small forward position, which he actually played in Minnesota. So if you're in the narratives, he's going against his old team. So that's cool. I don't know if he's revenge kind of guy, but Covington. So I like Covington, Westbrook, and you can even slide House in there. Harden showing ownership, so you could get away with doing a cash lineup with Harden and Westbrook. That way, if Westbrook stinks, Harden's obviously going to do well. English guys. Lower price center on DK, like my favorite one for cash and GPP. I'm assuming. Let's go to the salary board here. Well, no, let's go to point per dollar. Thomas Bryant, 100%. JaVale McGee. Yeah, so I'm assuming JaVale McGee's percentage ownership is going to go way up. We haven't even been talking about him. Bryant and McGee are pretty much the same. They're the same on our sheet right now. Again, we kind of have to observe percentage ownership at some point to see which one's going to be better for GPP and which one's going to be better for cash. But like if you're a JPP player, you might want to consider a strong pivot with McGee. That way, if other late-breaking injury news does come out, you have that pivot option with McGee. So again, you don't want to. Usually, when you're playing JPP on DraftKings, you don't want to start too many guys in these early games because it kind of locks yourself up for late-night pivots. And you guys know how crucial that is and how much we preach good GPP options. I answered this question. Any interest in Julius Randle? Absolutely. I could get behind him. I don't know if he's going to make it my lineup, but he's tagged here as being a really good GPP option. I'm assuming because there's so many other good cash plays. There's a lot of good plays tonight. It's kind of spread all over the place. Like I said, there's not a straightforward team. I really hope there is. I hope Houston's the play because I love stacking Houston. High over under, just huge upside. Thank you, Dylan Miller. I don't know if I got a chance to shout you out. Thank you for the subscription. Really appreciate that. All right, Westbrook, Dinwiddie, DeRozan, Warren, Chris Brown Jr., House, Harrison, GPP. Yeah, I like that. Dinwiddie, very low owned. Warren's going to be very low owned. Chris, not so much. But yeah, I like that. I actually like that. Harrison's low owned. He just woke up from a nap. No worries. Not yelling at you. Alfred, I get a lot of Alfred Payton questions. Yeah, Alfred. So anybody in this game is going to have upside. To name my favorite plays from this game, starting with Randall, Payton second, Barrett is third. Mitchell Robinson's pending that injury news, so if he is ruled out, again, we're going to be looking at this. Bobby Portis would obviously get a bump in minutes. Could be up in the mid-20 range, so I could see him as being a very good GPP option. Hardaway Jr. or House, they're not really the same price tag. I like House a lot tonight. I will say that. I like, obviously, Hardaway Jr. if Doncic is rolled out. I was about to say Porzingis. Is 100% exposure to Brown Jr. okay? You guys know I preach being aggressive. If you have a strong feeling about Troy Brown, absolutely. I mean, I'm usually not over 100. I'm not over like 80% usually, unless it's a 3-game slate and I have 100% exposure to Middleton. I'm usually not, but by all means, if you want to go 100% on Troy Brown, he's a great play tonight. Who's a good pivot off of Drummond? Let's look at that price range. I'm assuming you want to stay in the center realm. There's not really too many people I like in that range, to be honest. If you can get up to Lillard, 1,000%. I don't like that price range. Maybe Russell. I could get behind Russell in like GPP's. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, man. I would reconstruct your lineup. I don't like that range at all. Nance, I mean. I hope you meant Nance. Or Love. I like Love better. I think he's just more productive, has more upside. I had 100% Middleton last night. Terrible play. Yeah, nobody roasted me for my Middleton call except the one guy in our Discord on the early morning video. So I'm very proud of everybody watching and not roasting me for my early morning Middleton call. I was waiting for a DM for somebody to say, why were you recommending Middleton at 0 points? He did not do very well. I was waiting for the DM. I think I've called out enough people. They're afraid of me now. Thoughts on Covington? I like Covington a lot. Cash and GPP. I like Covington in this spot a lot. High-paced game. If you're in the narratives, he's in a good narrative play. Absolutely. Covington to go. Yes. Kobe White. Yes, Kobe White's a great play as well. He's receiving starter minutes. 35 is what they have been projected at now. Has been playing very, very well. I think they found themselves a gem in Chicago. So again, 6.8K. I could definitely get behind that. You could see him get up close to mid 7 to 8K range at some point in the season if he keeps playing the way he's playing. Eric Gordon will play. Is that true? I hope not. No. We're not all aboard the Houston train. Okay, well, he's only projected at 10 minutes, so that's not going to affect anything too much for Chicago. No, and Eric Gordon will play, guys. I just went to a mini DFS depression. All right, so let's look at this again. My night just got sadder. I wanted to stack these guys. So with Eric Gordon playing. Eric Gordon's not a bad option. I'm not going to recommend him as being a good play, though, a cash play. I like Harden. I like Westbrook. I like Covington. I like House. And PJ Tucker for GPPs. But the 4 top guys are very, very, very good plays. All right. Thoughts on LeVert? Let's see. What is going on with LeVert? I know he's sitting in that 7K price range. GPP option for sure. I mean, if you're gonna take the cheaper Dinwiddie here at 3% ownership, probably over LeVert. I like Dinwiddie more. I don't mind LeVert. Couldn't be as depressing as last night. That's true. Must play stud for tonight. Westbrook or Lillard. Those are very good plays. If you can get both in your lineup, those are going to be the most chalky. Are you playing Paul George tonight? Who would be the best option around that price range? So Paul George is just strictly GPP. Like I said, he only played 36 minutes. I'm assuming... wrong person. He only played 36 minutes because they were playing in the Lakers. He almost played 37. I don't suspect he'll be playing those many minutes against Golden State. Again, they've been monitoring his minutes, him and Kawhi. More so with Paul George lately. Obviously, 30, 27, 29. I don't like his upside just because of his minutes. I don't think they'll be that high. 7.7, the other price increase. He does get a usage boost without Lou Will, but I'm going to probably avoid him. Let's look at that price range. He's at what? 7.7. Oh, Julius Randle, 1,000%. Randle, DeRozan are my favorite from that price range. Booker for GPP, yeah, only if Ayton's out. Well, I mean, he could be a GPP option regardless, but I like him a lot more if Ayton's out. Robinson and for Wiz. Come on. That's not fun. All right, let's update ownership to see what we're looking at here. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes, guys. I will get off, and then I'll come right back. I'm going to try to update this ownership for you guys so we can get a better picture of what the slate's looking like. But again, everything's staying pretty much the same. You're going to play it safe with Houston. Kobe White's a core. Troy Brown's a core. Thomas Bryant is a core. Yeah. Aldridge is in. Yep, I know Aldridge is in. Thanks for the update, though. Thank you. Spring training. Question mark. No, I don't play spring training. I will be playing MLB, though. I love MLB. MLB is one of my favorite DFS sports. It is my favorite DFS sport. TJ Warren, go for value, Osman, or go up for another position. I like TJ Warren for GPPs. He's going to get overlooked. He plays 35 minutes, obviously, with the current injury, so I like their matchup. I don't like their matchup. So that makes their ownership go down. So 105.5 is what they're projected at right now. With TJ Warren, strictly GPP. Drummond or Vooch? I like Vooch. I like Vooch because he has more solid minutes, and again, this is going to be a slight pace-up spot for them. With Cleveland, you can't say the same thing. I mean, I think technically they're in the pace-up spot, but 106 does scare me. If you're looking for upside, definitely with Vooch. Aldridge confirmed, officially in. Let's see here. What's Kobe White's ownership? As of right now, guys, this will change. I'll come back on the stream. I'll give you guys all the updated ownership. Okay, how about that? Right now, he's at 34% in tournaments, which is about 60% in cash. 50 to 60. What's y'all sorcerers Twitter? Yeah, so we look at Fantasy Labs. They're pretty reliable. They usually get out the updates. So Fantasy Labs NBA. Great company. Do you like Beasley tonight? Yeah, I like Beasley for GPPs. Definitely not cash, though. So let's do this. So let me give one last breakdown here. Let me go ahead and do it based off percentage ownership. As you guys know, I like doing this with my little calculator. You guys don't understand what I'm doing. It's okay. Just some advanced stuff. Maybe I'll go over it in a video at some point. But what this is doing is it's basically guaranteeing I have a decent amount of ownership in my lineups. So I'm staying with the field while also leveraging myself against the field. If that makes any sense. If I spoke gibberish, I apologize. You guys can give my tutorial videos a watch. I go over leverage a lot. All right, 117. Let's break this down. All right, let's give a rough overview here. I think Fantasy Labs has an app and they are a site. Justin Jackson GPP value. Again, Doncic is the question mark there. Can't really answer any Dallas news without that Doncic news. Kobe White or DeRozan, did I answer that? I like Kobe White. I like Kobe White as a safe play tonight. He's getting a lot of minutes, starter minutes. I like DeRozan for JPP as well, though. As you guys can see, according to my... Is it this side? According to my sheet. I don't know, I'm backwards. Is it this way? Yeah. Okay, so Troy Brown, favorite value play. I love Troy Brown. Let's go over cash, okay, and core locks. Troy Brown, Damian Lillard, Covington for cash locks. Pat Bev, Kobe White. There's your cash locks. You can throw Russell Westbrook in there too. I just gave you like 6 players. There's enough to build a lineup. All right. GPP. Favorite GPP options. DeMar DeRozan. It looks like they did update owners. No, they didn't. DeMar DeRozan, favorite GPP option. Chris, good GPP option. Finney Smith if he plays. TJ Warren. Paul, I'm not going to include Paul George anymore. I'll probably get rid of him. Spencer Dinwiddie. Patty Mills, Colin Sexton. Toscano Anderson, great GPP value. Yeah, Troy Brown is still projected at 29 minutes. That's why I said he wouldn't really be impacted. He would only be impacted even more. So I would like Troy Brown even more, but he's still a great play. Great play. Okay. Yeah, Dallas news is now the most important news. I believe there's another team late that's still pending significant injury news, right? Phoenix with Ayton. Yeah, that will those two. Well, mainly the Dallas news will completely change the slate. I do like Fultz's GPP. All right, and I'll answer one last question. Best shooting guard around 6,400. Such an odd number here. Beasley. Beasley's my favorite, and Terrence Ross GPP for sure. Damian Lee's not bad for GPPs as well. All right, guys, I will be back. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the donation today. Again, really great stream. We will be back though in about 20 minutes. I have to go do a couple things. I have to make the lineup, and we have to win some money tonight, right? So again, come back with any last minute questions. I will update the ownership. I don't think the ownership is completely updated yet. I'll do it one last time for you guys. See if it's updated. If not, just feel free to come back, and then I'll give you an exact idea of what direction I'm going. Oh, it did update. Look at that. JaVale McGee's pretty chalky now, so that's great to know because I like JaVale McGee and I also like Thomas Bryant, but since Thomas Bryant is lower owned, I think JaVale McGee, he's also projected at 22 minutes now. So, I forget what his, I have it pulled up. JaVale McGee, guys, don't leave the stream yet. Stay here. Now. 22. So he's at 24. They actually haven't projected higher here. But I don't agree with that. So yeah, he is the best value on the slate besides Troy Brown. They're literally the same. So let's update this again. Let's see what we're looking at. Don't leave. This is why you stay for the edge, right? If the last 10 people I see, we just dropped 10 people. Sorry, they just missed out on the edge. Sorry. All right, let's see what this is looking like. Slow at lineup building. Avoid the Kogi. Kogi's not bad. GPP option. Again, anybody in that game in general is in a good pace-up spot. All right. So, yeah, McGee's going to be right there in the mix. Nothing really changed as far as the outlook on the slate. But now, instead of me being high on... Where is he? Thomas Bryant. I'm higher on JaVale McGee for ownership. Okay. So, JaVale McGee, Troy Brown, Dame's ownership actually dropped. So I'll switch that to Westbrook and Covington and Kobe White. Those are going to be the locks. Doncic or Westbrook. All right. Guys, I will be back. Thank you so much for showing your support. Again, I will give you guys some last minute updates on the ownership and hopefully give you guys more of an edge and then answer any last minute questions. Again, I'll be back in about 15-20 minutes. Cue the intense music.
clap.
Like it.
Make you clap.
Like it.
All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, it took a little bit longer than expected. Just going over some percentage ownership and stuff. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have, if you have any. Let's go ahead and start here. I will say that Chris took the biggest increase in usage from all these guys, Chris and McGee. I already talked about McGee right before I got off. But also, thanks for showing up, guys. 115 viewers, so... All right. So let me just like break everything down one more time for you guys. Can't show you that. Those are my GPP plays. McGee, Kobe White, Covington. You can even throw Chris in your cash lineup, and Westbrook are going to be the locks for tonight. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and answer any questions. I also will give out some really good contests in there. I haven't entered a single one just to show you guys how close to lock I enter my contests. I'm going to enter them at 5 minutes, so I'll give you guys some cool contests in there. Center, question mark. I like McGee as my favorite option. I like Thomas Bryant as a GPP option now. A lot. I like, even though Covington doesn't technically play center, I like him. But those are my two favorite. I don't think you can go anywhere else in a center position for value. To name some favorite other centers. Not too many up here. Chris, Marquise Chris. Now that Doncic and Finney Smith is in the morning video, still good. For Finney Smith, yeah, I like Finney Smith for GPPs for sure. Westbrook, White, DeRozan, Warren, McGee, other White, right? Harrison, Aldridge. Yeah, that's not a bad. I think that's GPP. If that's GPP, I like it. If it's not, I'd get some more high-owned guys in there. Golden State, Anderson, and Washington Brown. Are you asking? I don't know what you're asking. Are you asking if they're good plays? Jerome is starting now. Yes, we expect him to start, but I think Troy Brown is still getting decent minutes. 28 is what they haven't pegged at right now. Thank you. Give me space. Thank you for the subscription. Really appreciate that. Lillard for cash, absolutely. Lillard, his ownership went down, but I think he's a very good play. Carrying 20% ownership in tournaments. Along with Westbrook, do you prefer Lillard or Luka? I like Lillard tonight. Any Boston? Not really. I'm not really high in Boston. Low over under, pace down, and most of their injuries are back. They're adjusted accordingly. Finney Smith or DeRozan? I think for value you're asking, I like both of them actually a lot. Finney Smith for a lower tier value option and DeRozan for a higher tier value option for sure. I like both of them. All right, so GPP locks for you. I don't have any such thing as GPP locks, but I'll give you my overexposures here. I like Troy Brown. Troy Brown's ownership went down because Jerome Robinson was in the lineup. I like Troy Brown regardless. DeMar DeRozan, very good GPP option still. Damian Lillard, still good at GPP. TJ Warren, one of my favorite GPP options on the slate for sure. Otto Porter for GPP. Good question. I don't really have enough data on Otto Porter to really recommend him as a good play. Could end up being a decent play if he does get good minutes. Right now, they have him projected at 25, 4.6. It's a little risky for me. Julius Randle for GPP. I like Randle. Yep, I like Randle. Brent Forbes GPP. I like Brent Forbes as well. I like the San Antonio Spurs guards. I think one of them is going to have a ceiling game tonight. They have opportunities, obviously, with a lot of minutes. Josh Jackson minutes. Good question. I don't think too many. 22. Yeah, 4.6. Yeah, it's a little risky for me. I don't like anybody under 25 minutes usually. Gordon for cash. Not for cash. Not for cash. Gordon is going to be very, very low owned. TJ Warren or Beasley. I like TJ Warren because of his minutes, but I like Beasley because of his upside. That's tough, man. I would say the safer one's Beasley. TJ Warren definitely is going to fly under the radar tonight. Low ownership for sure. White, Beasley, Booker, Davis, Gordon, Drummond, Cash. Booker, Davis, and Gordon are very low owned. Very low owned. I would pivot off those guys just because of their ownership. Booker could end up paying for you. Again, we're still waiting that Ayton news. So that's the only bit of injury news that's really going to shake up the slate after this point. Unexpected injury news should or could affect the slate as well. But I think Ayton's the only injury news that we're really waiting on. Diallo GPP. Yeah, I mean, if you're a DK player, Diallo could definitely get some run if Ayton does not play, but that's a huge risk. I would not lock him in or anything if you're a FanDuel player. Lillard, Kobe White, Jerome Robinson, okay. Love, Bryant, Westbrook, House, McGee. I like that GPP. For sure, that's a good one. Which White is the play? Kobe White is the more chalky of the two. Derek White's not a bad play either. West and Harden together in cash. I think that's a good option. You could do that. Leverage yourself. I know one of them's going to have a very good game. Of course, in cash, you're not trying to go for upside. You're trying to just beat half the field. Of course, if Harden is the one that does very well, he's going to be lower owned, so that could be good leverage for you in cash for sure. Beasley, DeRozan, or Lillard, Finney-Smith. Ooh, that is tough. I will slightly lean towards Beasley, DeRozan, just because I like DeRozan that much tonight. Finney-Smith or Osman Finney-Smith? Dinner-Smith. I like Dinner-Smith. GPP line, Patty Mills, Sexton, Troy Brown, Covington, Chris, Booker, DeMar, Randall. I like that. Again, Booker, if Ayton's ruled out, Booker is a very good play. Think Lillard is going to outscore Russ and Luka? I don't think that. He could, but I think the guy that's in the best spot tonight is Russ. Is Finney-Smith the play? He's a very low-owned GPP option, I'll say that. I happen to be overweight on him. Again, guys that have that Q tag are just normally very low-owned, and Finney-Smith at 3.9, I think it's 3.7. Crazy price tag, I think, in general. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and enter some contests now. It's now 6:54, and I'm not panicking. I have 20 lineups built, I think. Let's hope they uploaded. Let's make sure. Yes, I have 20 lineups here. All right, and I'll give you guys some good contests in there. Good contest for overlay and just in general. Don't enter that $4. 20 max for 34,000 people. That is a ton of people, a ton of different entries. Of course, if that overlay stays the same, that could be interesting. Let's scroll down here for featured tournaments. It doesn't look like there's too many. Let me just make sure. Come on. Uh-oh, they're scaring me. There's no tournaments for me to enter. 20 max. Is it one of those nights where I have to sell for this big tournament? Guys, so I will say there's a lot of qualifier tournaments that have overlay. So like 7 out of 21 is guaranteed contest for $7. That is a good contest to enter, like, because there shouldn't be 21 people that fill it up. So these qualifiers have a lot of overlay right now, but I'll give it some time and then look back. Your dog is freaking out. No, he's not freaking out. He's playing with the other dog. Sorry if you guys can hear that. Best low cost value that feels safest for DK. Troy Brown is definitely up there. McGee is up there. Sabonis or Tatum Sabonis? Thanks for the shout out. Thank you. Appreciate that. FanDuel. I don't give FanDuel advice, but I will read the lineup and let you know if it's going to DK. Lillard, Kobe White, DeRozan, Booker, Warren, House, Covington, Randall, McGee. I like that lineup on DraftKings. Robinson starting. Doesn't worry about Troy Brown's minutes. No, like I said, they're still at 28, which is what I haven't pinned at. So 28's not bad for that value at all. Jerome or Troy Brown? Troy Brown. Straight up? Straight up. Ooh, that's tough because they're playing about the same minutes. I'll say Robinson just because he's in the starting lineup. Troy Brown, though. I mean, Troy Brown has really good upside. And when he's playing with the second team against the Knicks, does have some good scoring opportunities for sure. Doncic, Dellavedova, DeRozan, Beasley, Finney-Smith, Warren, Porzingis. Wow, you have some very low-owned guys in there, man. I'd change that around just to get some higher-owned guys. I don't know what it looks like on FanDuel, but all those guys are very low-owned on DraftKings. I'm going to fish for some more contests here. Literally nothing. That's depressing. I might have to enter this 30,000 person pool. It does have decent overlay. That's the only thing I like about it right now. Appreciate the shout out, Matt. Thanks for the $5. Yeah, I see you, Matt. Thank you so much. Putting my old gamer tag in the chat. Appreciate that. Finney Smith or Osmond? Finney. I do like Finney Smith. TJ Warren or Chris? I like Chris tonight for sure. Doncic, I already read that. Again, very low owned lineup. I'm going to look at the contest one last time, guys. See if there's any last minute contests that you should be entering. There's a lot of overlay in this spring betting championship qualifier. I hope TJ sees this. $88. Ton of overlay. Only 147 out of 100 people entered it. Hopefully TJ's watching the stream right now. I know he just got off. All right, enter the qualifier. All right, so yeah, I'm on DK. There wasn't too many contests tonight, guys. That was kind of depressing. All those qualifiers, though, had a lot of overlay. If you guys don't know what overlay is, give my other videos a watch. I give a lot of tutorials on that. I'll have to touch base on that in another stream. Rubio, Peyton, Booker, Barrett, George, Hayward, Randall, Markkanen, Vooch. Very low on guys in there, man. I don't know about that one. There's, again, like you're kind of riding. It looks like you're riding on Ayton being out, and Ayton might be playing. So again, that might be a huge risk for you. But again, you can pivot. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Thank you so much for the support. Honestly, appreciate it, guys. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell. We do this every single day, but live before lock, again, to help give you guys the edge on all these slates. Again, guys, appreciate it. Video will be uploaded in the morning. I don't know what the slate size is yet, but it'll be comparable to 9 games. I think it's going to be a little bit smaller. But again, Wednesday usually is big for NBA. So again, guys, appreciate all the support. Thank you for the donations today, by the way. Appreciate that. If you guys are still struggling, again, we have our Patreon tool. We have our core cash build that we post to our website. So again, very small subscription fee. Can't wait for MLB. It's going to be in about 16 days from now. So again, 2 more weeks. Cannot wait. So again, guys, thank you again for the support. Let me know if you guys cash out tonight. Send me some screenshots in the morning. Send me some screenshots on Twitter, Discord. Again, the Discord chat was updated in the link in the description of the last video. So feel free to enter that if you guys haven't already. And again, have a great night, guys. Let's cash.